November 23rd, November 2023 fall CLEG meeting. My name is Cedric Sutherland from the Arlington County Planning Division, and I'm the staff liaison to this group. The purpose of the CLEG meeting is to provide a forum for the restaurant community and residents to address concerns or issues that may arise from the concentration of live entertainment uses in the Clarendon neighborhood. And I would like to thank everybody for attending. Before we begin, I would like to cover a few items to orient everyone to this virtual environment. Today's meeting is available to stream from the county website via Microsoft Teams link. There's also a dial-in phone option for those who wish to use it. If you lose internet connectivity during today's meeting, please reconnect with us by phone. Please keep your video turned off and mic muted until you are called on. These tools are located on your toolbar. If you do not see the toolbar, try tapping or clicking on the center of your screen and it will pop up. Public comments must be shared verbally for the record. When called upon to speak, you must unmute yourself by clicking the microphone icon. We do not have the ability to unmute you. If you are dialing in by phone, press *6 to unmute. And when you are finished speaking, please mute your microphone again. Lastly, this is a public forum, and today's meeting will be recorded and posted to the county website. All information associated with today's meeting, whether written or spoken, is subject to the Freedom of Information Act requirements. In terms of questions and answers, at the appropriate time, if you would like to ask a question, we ask that you use the raise hand function, or if that presents an issue, just leave a question in the meeting chat window. This function is available by clicking the icon that that should be in the upper right hand of your screen. Ask whoever that is if you could please mute yourself. Thank you. And then we also encourage everyone to when they are speaking to turn on the video, if possible, when asking the question. And remember to turn off the video, mute yourself again once you're finished speaking. I would like to start off the meeting today by taking roll for the representatives of the member establishments and the community groups, and also if anyone else here, member from the public or otherwise. For the restaurant groups, if you are responsible for more than one establishment, please let me know which establishments there are when you call yourself present. Anybody representing Barbell, Lion Hall, Pamplona,
Here, Tyler McGinnis.
thank you. O'Sullivan's,
Here, Des Whelan.
thank you. Spider Kelly's,
I'm here.
Northside Social, Mexicali Blues,
Here,
and you're here for which establishment?
Mexicali.
Thank you. Don Tito,
Here, I'm for Big Tony's too, Nick Cordero.
okay, thank you.
I'm here for Don Tito as well, Joe McDevitt.
Next we have Liberty Tavern, Wilson Hardware,
Here, Ferris for Wilson.
thank you. Buena Vida, and Ambar,
Emmanuel here, present for Buena Vida and Ambar.
thank you.
Cedric, Liberty Tavern is here. She just put it for Lion Hall, Liberty, and Northside. She just put it in the chat.
Okay, thank you. And then Renegade.
This is Patrick at Renegade.
All right, thank you. Clarendon Ballroom.
Hey, this is Josh at Ballroom.
All right. I believe I saw Andrew for Smokecraft.
I'm here.
Be Live and Cocoa Bees.
Present.
Chicken and Whiskey.
Christian for Chicken and Whiskey.
All right, thank you. And East West Cafe. All right, I'm moving on to community members. I think I see Andrew Root from Lion Village. Is anybody else here representing Lion Village?
John Carton, also for Lion Village.
Okay, thank you, John. Anyone from Lion Park? Clarendon Courthouse.
Christine Wood from Clarendon Courthouse.
All right, thank you. Ashton Heights. Anyone representing the Clarendon Alliance? And lastly, the Chamber of Commerce. Any other community members that I have not called on, or anybody who's not associated with any of the community groups, I just name. If you're available to speak up, please offer that opportunity now. All right, thank you. I will call a roll for those who have not spoken, noted themselves as present at the end of the at the end of the call. So I would like to move forward with today's meeting. Let me know if you see the slides move. Somebody can confirm for me.
We can see him, Cedric.
Okay, thank you. So today's agenda, simple as usual. We'll go through county different county agencies to see if they have any updates that are important to the restaurant establishments, to know as we go forward, and also anything for the community in general. I believe public health will go first. I believe they have Candace has somebody with her, and then we'll go through the agenda that way. We also will have a presentation from Mr. Brett Wallace. He was the lead planner on the food study, which updated our outdoor cafe regulations. And then we'll have an opportunity to hear back from the community and from the restaurant groups, any concerns that they may have had over the past 6 months with the operation of live entertainment in the neighborhood. So first up, we'll start with public health.
Thank you, Cedric. Good afternoon. My name is Candace Wooden, and I'm the Senior Environmental Health Specialist for Public Health. And I'm joined with my coworker, Dr. John Orr. So our first reminder to all is that the 2024 food establishment license applications have been mailed out. They went out today. Please renew your 2024 food establishment license before December 31st. Any applications or payments that are not received before December 31st will be assessed a late fee. So that's one of our updates, and then I'll let Dr. John Orr take over.
Thank you. I just want to talk briefly about rodents in the Clarendon area. We have seen a lot of rodent activity recently in Clarendon, and just a reminder to all the restaurant folks to please secure your trash. Make sure that dumpsters are closed all the time, but especially when you close for the night. And check on your pest control. But it really does help the rodents to take bait if the other food sources are cut off, and you will get much better control if the dumpsters remain closed. This is the winter time is a challenging time because a lot of times rodents are looking to move indoors. So keep your eyes open for that. Have your pest control people look around and make sure that any cracks or things are sealed up. But the wintertime is also a good time to knock the rodent population down because there are not a lot of competing food sources out and about in the neighborhood. All the plants are dormant right now. So dumpsters become a main food source. If you can help us by keeping those sealed and closed, that will help tremendously. Thank you.
And those are our updates for public health. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Candace and John. That's extremely important as we've received a couple of emails from the community over the past year or two, just noting trash outside of the dumpster. But again, let's still encourage the community when you see those things, please contact us so we can get on it. We also contact the restaurant establishments who respond efficiently even before county staff shows up to remove the item. So it definitely is a partnership. Sometimes things get missed, especially when you have contracted trash removal services. So please continue to work on that and for the restaurant group to monitor those items and monitor your contractors to make sure that they're not leaving trash out or missing things when they're coming to collect. That would be greatly appreciated. Next, we have police.
Hey everybody, Samantha Brienne, Restaurant and Nightlife Liaison for the Police Department. I don't have many updates. I just wanted to thank everybody from the restaurants for a successful Halloween weekend. It was very busy, but I think everybody did pretty good. Now we're coming up to Thanksgiving Eve, so let's do it again. Two things. I have a new fake ID campaign partnered with the Document Security Alliance. I'll be bringing these out tonight or tomorrow to the restaurants if you guys want to put them up. It has a little QR code that the patrons can scan, and it'll come up to all the laws regarding fake IDs. And then also the Bar Safe program. I'm going to be asking everybody to re-sign into it because we do have a couple new establishments. For those that don't know what the Bar Safe program is, it's basically a banning program here in Clarendon from Thursday to Sunday from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. If someone commits a misdemeanor crime in your establishment, and they get arrested for it or they're a suspect, they can receive a yellow violation. One of 3 of those yellow violations in 1 year, they're basically banned from all the restaurants that have signed on. And then if they commit a felony violation in your establishment, they're automatically banned from 1 year. And we kind of go through the process of how I give information to you guys and how we can better work together. So I'll be going around tonight and tomorrow for all of that. But that's all I have, Cedric.
All right, thank you. Next, we'll have is anyone from fire here on the call? Okay, we'll move on. Next, we have code enforcement.
Good afternoon, Cedric. My name is Ben Seaman. I'm the code enforcement supervisor. I don't have any update at this point. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next we have zoning.
Hey, this is Jonelle from zoning. It's been relatively quiet, but I just want to make sure everyone is mindful of their conditions for their live entertainment. We will be coming around doing checks soon, so please make sure you're following your conditions. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. Next is me for planning department. Just updates from the planning side of the live entertainment operations. The live entertainment use permits and site plan amendments was renewed by the county board in May this year. You also have an upcoming administrative review that we do in between the 2 year the every 2 year county board review. So we have an administrative internal review just to make sure and check. But this is not, as Chanel alluded to, this is not the only time that at least for zoning will comes around and does inspections periodically in the evenings to make sure people are upholding conditions. Um, but during this time for the administrative review, please expect zoning and code enforcement inspections to begin in the early spring in the wrap up to for staff to complete the administrative review. And also in January, this upcoming January, I will send around a spreadsheet to the restaurant groups to update their contacts list. I know we did it last spring, but I think it's helpful to do it at least yearly or by twice a year as things change and people move on and come in and other things like that. So we have a consistent updated contact list that can be shared between staff and the community so they know who to contact at each establishment if something arises. And then a reminder, Chanel alluded to, please review your live entertainment conditions, especially concerning Sundays. Sam didn't speak to this, but she's noted to me several times that Sundays have become an increasingly popular time for live entertainment uses to be used. One of the things that we've done with our use permit conditions, typically Sundays is shorter hours for live entertainment, and so we want to make sure that establishments are adhering to that. And so please review your conditions, make sure your managers or yourself or whoever's responsible are monitoring those activities for all days of the week, especially Sundays as they become extremely popular nights for you guys to provide those activities. And next, before we move on to hearing feedback from the community group, we'll have a short presentation again from Mr. Brett Wallace, who's the lead planner for the food study, which looked at updating the outdoor cafe standards in lieu of all the innovations that were forced upon us during the COVID pandemic. We were able to learn how to use the public right of way a little bit better, I guess, in terms of providing outdoor cafe space. And so he led that effort, and he'll just provide a brief update to what we've done and where we're at now, and we'll go from there. So you take it, Brett.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know if you see my screen. I started sharing. Can you hear me?
Yep,
We
you're
can
good.
see it.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So again, my name is Brett Wallace. I'm with the planning division. I work with Cedric, and I was the planning lead for the outdoor cafes, or the future of outdoor dining study that we conducted over the past year. Of the food study implementation, there are 3 key elements that were updated and adopted by the county board in July of this past summer. So the first being adoption of new zoning ordinance amendments related to outdoor cafes. One big change is permitting outdoor seating in public spaces or public sidewalks administratively versus going to the county board for a use permit. So that's was one big change for outdoor cafes on public sidewalks. And then we saw over the pandemic a lot of restaurants using off-street private parking areas for outdoor cafes, which was not previously allowed by the zoning ordinance. So we did make some amendments for the county board to be able to modify parking requirements for outdoor cafes as well. Number 2 is actually a new chapter of the county code. This is an encroachment ordinance and an outdoor cafe license. This is something that a lot of other neighboring jurisdictions throughout the country are doing. This is an administrative process and review requirement for outdoor cafes, specifically for the use of outdoor cafes that are in public space or on the public sidewalk. The third element was that we updated the outdoor cafes design guidelines that were last updated 10 years ago in 2013. And this is really like an all-in-one resource document for restaurants, including the permitting process, purpose and goals, and flow charts and different design guidelines for different types of outdoor cafes. So for the first key element, the zoning ordinance amendment, again, they were adopted July 15, 2023. You can see in this table here the approval path. There are really two approval paths, either by right administrative or county board use permit. And so the previous standards for private property was by right administrative. So that is continuing. And then for the public sidewalks or the public rights of way, that was or did previously require a county board approval use permit. That has now, as I mentioned before, been moved into the administrative pathway, so no longer requiring county board approval. However, I will mention that if some restaurants are part of a county board approved site plan, there may be the need for a site plan amendment for things like the clear sidewalk path and things like that. So that is one caveat. And then finally, the third is privately owned public spaces, or POPs. These are things like courtyards and plazas. Previously, those were approved by county board use permit, and that's something that we will continue to evaluate through the use permit process. I mentioned the new chapter of the county code. This is an outdoor cafe license that's again required for those outdoor cafes that are on public sidewalks or in public easement areas. This code became effective on September the 1st. Again, this is a license for the private use of the public space. It's administrative, application process, approval, and renewal. There is an application fee of $150. Plus, there'll be an annual license fee that's based on the cafe square footage. However, this fee will not be determined until the next 2025 county budget. So we're anticipating that that'll be effective July of 2024. And so again, also, applicants need to apply and obtain for that cafe license prior to July of next year. That we created as part of this process was a new outdoor cafes website. This is a website with the link that's provided here. This is a very helpful resource for restaurants. It has a lot of very helpful information that we've worked very hard on to create and to hopefully make things simpler for applications and permitting, including a number of FAQs. There's an intake form if restaurants are seeking, or if they have questions or they're seeking consultations. I know that I've provided consultations to probably over 60 restaurants since September, and I'm continuing to do so even today. We've also created a lot of really helpful YouTube videos on how to navigate the permit Arlington system, which, to be honest, is not as easy and intuitive as one might think. So there's a step-by-step videos that we're encouraging everybody to watch prior to applying for a building permit or a certificate of occupancy. And then we also have a cafe license checklist of materials and drawings and documents that you need to prepare for before applying for the license. We've also got some helpful permitting reference charts, depending on where your outdoor cafe is located, whether it's on the public sidewalk, it's in a privately owned public space, or it's on private property, or it's on private property using parking spaces. Just noting which type of permits you need, whether it's a use permit, the license, building permit, or certificate of occupancy. And then finally, in terms of implementation and next steps, since the county board took action, the initial application period for restaurants ended recently on October the 16th. This was approximately 90 days after the adoption of the zoning regulations. Staff did send out a final reminder email to all restaurants, specifically restaurants that had TOSAs over the pandemic. And TOSAs, again, are the temporary outdoor seating areas. So we sent out a final reminder email to approximately 128 TOSA permit holders, encouraging them to begin the application process, to begin working with staff to bring their outdoor cafes into compliance with the new regulations. And currently, as of today, there's approximately 50 to 60 restaurants that we have not heard from or have not began the application process to bring their cafes into compliance. And so we're actively working with restaurants and applicants to bring their cafes into compliance with the new zoning regulations. I mentioned I've been providing many consultations over the phone, via email, answering questions, pointing them to the website and all the different links and helpful resources. And so of those 50 to 60 restaurants, we're anticipating that zoning inspections and enforcement for those non-responsive cases may begin shortly, given that the application period has ended on October 16th. So we do expect zoning staff may be following up with several restaurants throughout the county, not just in Clarendon, on any kind of inspections and follow-up and enforcement. And the bottom line is we want restaurants to come into compliance. We're not looking to shut people down per se, but to at least get them to initiate the process to work with staff and making a good faith effort to bring their outdoor cafes into compliance. But we will be following up with inspections as needed for, again, some of those places that have been non-responsive. So that's concludes my short presentation and update. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Sam, you had a question?
Yep. Hey, Brett. Thank you for that. I just have one quick question. If a restaurant thinks that they've applied, is there a way that they can follow up with you or somebody else to make sure everything looks okay before they, or are you going to just follow up with them?
If I understand your question, if they think that they've applied, so I think there was some confusion in the beginning, is that we asked some restaurants to submit an intake form just to kind of initiate the process. And so I followed up with all those restaurants. But if anybody has any questions at all about the process or the permitting, I mean, they can certainly feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help out to get things started.
Thank you.
Andrew from Smokecraft, you had a question.
I don't really have a question, more of a comment on this process. And Brett, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this in a public forum, but I'm going to call the county out on the poor execution of this program. You guys had 2 years to prepare for it, and throughout this process, I'm now faced with having to get over 6 permits, site plan amendment, spend thousands of dollars in fees to do it, plus get my landlord and legal involved to handle it. This was supposed to be a rubber stamp process for all those who follow the process throughout. And I'm in a public forum. I just want to be very open and critical about how you guys handle this. I'm going to work with you guys to make it happen and doing everything I can to make it happen. But this is not the process that you promised the public. It's not the process you told the county board. And I know that I've got a site plan issue at my location specifically. But for any other operator out there who's faced similar challenges or hasn't started the process, I encourage you to get involved, because it is not as simple as it should have been, where it's a simple sign here, pay this fee here, and move forward. So sorry I had to do it, Brett, but this is a public forum about it, and I feel like you've misrepresented this to the public, and I just want to make sure I'm on record saying that to the public.
All right, Andrew, thank you for your comment. Anybody else have a question or comment on the updated outdoor cafe standards? I'm going once, going twice. Thank you, Brett, for your presentation. I hope that was helpful to any restaurant who has an outdoor cafe, doesn't have an outdoor cafe, thinking about it. They understand the process a little bit clearer. So with that, I think we can move on. Let me pull back up the slides, and next will be any comments from the community. Hi, Christine.
Hi, Cedric. Thanks. I had a nightlife establishment approach me looking for advice that I wasn't able to share with them. So I'm hoping this is a forum where you guys can help me help them. They've got food trucks that are not theirs, but along their property that are leaving a lot of trash and mess that isn't their responsibility, that they didn't create, but was created somewhere else. What can I tell them about what is available to them in terms of remedies, and or trash pickup used to be part of the standard operating procedures for this group. Where is that now? Thank you.
Cedric, I can speak to this. Hi, Christine, how are you? Hi. Oh, sorry, my computers are all messed up. So the food truck, that area is a food vending zone. I've reached out to a couple different people in the county regarding the trash. I feel like this is my life work to get some trash cans in Clarendon. I'm hoping that helps. I spoke with the food truck, and they now have to walk up and down the area and check once they close for the trash. If they're continuing not to do that, please let me know. And I'll reach back out to my contact in the county regarding that area. But like I said, guys, you know how long I've been fighting for trash cans. They do have to have a trash can out there as well, in front of their food truck. So I will make sure that they're picking up their area.
Candace is still on from environmental health. Do you have anything to speak to that? I think you regulate the mobile food vendors and things of that sort.
Yes, I was going to reach out to Sam and get the contact for that mobile food vendor and remind them of the requirements to take their trash back to their base of operations. So I'll get the additional details about the mobile unit and address that with them.
Thank you, guys.
Cedric, I've got a question.
I'm sorry. I was on mute. I'm sorry. John, yes, you have a
Yeah,
question.
a couple of comments. First of all, I just want to let Samantha know that we've been trying to get trash cans up there on the north side of Wilson Boulevard in particular. In fact, recently, our current president, member of our executive committee, took a walk through Clarendon with one of the board members. And that was a point we were trying to make with the board member, that there need to be more trash cans on the north side of Wilson and other places around Clarendon, so that when people have trash, they have a place to put it. So just want to let Samantha know.
The good fight, John. Fight in the good fight.
We're trying to work on that too. The second thing is, I wanted to ask Brett, who reviews sidewalk widths for safety, as the pop-ups and things like that come into being? Because we've seen some places where it's really, sidewalks are really getting tight, and it's tough for a wheelchair or other people like that to get through.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up. I know that's true throughout the county, and a lot of, the complaints are come in from the community, like members like yourself. So if there's a specific case that you, or a place, or where you feel like there may be too narrow of a sidewalk for accessibility or pedestrian circulation, then certainly I can provide, I think it's on the website link that I shared in the chat, but I think we have a zoning enforcement and inspections phone number and an email that you can contact if for some reason you feel like there's some place that's just not providing the appropriate clear sidewalk. And they would conduct inspections and follow through as needed. So if I'll see if I could dig up the phone number and email, but if you have anything in mind and you wanted to report something, there is a place to do that.
Okay, great, thank you. And then the final thing I had was we have a number of neighbors in Lime Village that come to us and they complain about noise in Clarendon and various things like that. And so we try and describe to them the process for handling that. But honestly, it's so convoluted that we have trouble really explaining it, since it's a combination of zoning, code enforcement, and the police. So a request that we have, and I think the other neighborhoods would appreciate this too, is a written summary on how zoning, code enforcement, and the police enforce violations to the noise ordinance and also the use permit conditions. So that's a request for something written.
Thank you, John. I can look into that, but I believe when I believe in November of last year, we had a pretty extensive communication layout for the updated process, which includes who to call, when to call, and how. I can try to find that and send that to you, Andrew. But I can work with our communication staff to see if there's a better way to summarize it, that's easier for the community to digest if that isn't sufficient.
Right.
I believe somebody else had their hand up.
Cedric, can I relay on that one?
Can I chime in? Cedric, this is Ben from Code Enforcement. We have this information on the Code Enforcement website page and the county website, and all the information, who enforces and when and what, and who to call and what time. So all that information is available in the county website. If you go to the Code Enforcement page, and you should be able to get all the information, and kind of breaks it down to when to call and who to call.
Okay, Ben, I appreciate that. But what I'm asking is for you to summarize it for us. Yes. And then send it to us. Don't make us go looking for it on the website. We just need it very clear how those three entities interact and how these things get enforced. Because we get asked all the time about this, and it's really hard to explain.
Okay, I can get you information from Cedric, and then I will email you all the details and kind of break it down for you.
Okay, that'd be really helpful. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, yeah, Cedric, if you can pass me the information, email address, and I'll get you the details and information and how the whole thing works.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. And Sam, you had a response.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about the police response to it. So I looked it up, and I think we've only had maybe like 10 noise complaints, and some of those were written as noise violations, which then goes to code enforcement. As you all know, our staffing in the police department is very short, right? So if you call in a noise complaint between 9 to 3 a.m. and we have other pending calls that are at a higher priority, right? So whether we have assaults on Columbia Pike or something going on in Boston or in Roslyn that takes a higher priority than those loud complaints, that call might get canceled, or it's just going to take us a very long time to get to that loud complaint. Does that make sense? Our busiest hours are between the hours of 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. And of course, that's when we have some of the most short staff on our patrol units. If you think of Arlington, Arlington is 26 square miles. I mean, John, you know, right? We have a lot of federal land, which is great, but right now we're in a very bad staffing shortage. So we are trying to respond to all the calls, but it might just take us a little bit longer to get out there.
Okay.
Thank you, Sam. Do we have any other comments from the community or concerns to be expressed? With that, we can move on to hearing back from anybody from the restaurant community who may have a question or concern about either what they heard today or anything that's been brewing in the back of their mind to bring forward to the group. Um, not hearing anything or seeing anybody raise their hand. We can go ahead and wrap up the meeting. So the next meeting will be in the spring, this upcoming spring in May. I'm looking at trying to shake things up a little bit. I know my good friend John has been asking for an in-person meeting. So in the late winter, please look for emails, send out a survey about what times will be good to do that. Trying to do that for the spring. It's a hope, not a promise, but I'm trying to get there. So please work with me. And again, please look out for your emails for the restaurant community for updating your contacts, contact list. I did want to bring up, I believe there are 2 tentative applications for use permits for live entertainment that may be coming up soon. I don't think they've submitted them, but I know Representative Don Tito mentioned Big Tony's. I think they're looking to come into the CLEG, and then there's some rumors swirling around about some other establishments that may be coming online soon. So please look out for those emails as they come up for outreach, especially to the community about comments or concerns that may be presented with those establishments. With that being said, again, for the business community, if you need help, things are not going as well as you hope. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the to county's economic development group. They're here to help. See if you can resolve any of the issues that you're having with your business to help keep it afloat, keep it moving, and keep it going and growing. So please use all the resources that the county has at your disposal. With that, again, here's my contact information. I forgot to put my email up. I apologize, but it's on the CLEG website. But I'm here and available. If you have any questions, concerns, please do not hesitate to email me. Community members, John well knows. He'll send me stuff and I'll get it out to the respective departments and also contact businesses to kind of resolve an issue. Businesses, if you have questions or concerns, always please feel free to reach out to me. If you're getting stuck somewhere in the county, you reach out to me. I can try to unstick that lever so you can get moving. So if all hearts and minds are clear, I'll conclude the fall CLEG meeting. Hope everybody has a wonderful day and upcoming Thanksgiving season and holiday season. Thank you.
Thanks, Cedric, and you too.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cedric.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys. We're grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.